Welcome to Canada.
In this video, you will see many of the sights and hidden gems that Toronto has to offer. Locals tell about their city. By ferry, I will visit the calm Toronto Islands. You will also see the Mennonite country, where the community still travels by horse and carriage. This video will end at St. Jacob's Farmers Market. And as a sneak peek, in the next episode I will visit the beautiful Algonquin Park up north during peak times of Indian summer and explore the nice town of Huntsville. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. In the last episode I will cover the Niagara Falls and the wine region south of Toronto. But now let's start with Toronto, capital of Ontario and most diverse city in the world.
I have just arrived in the city of Toronto, and this is where I will start my Canadian trip.
As the city is quite large, I'll use a bike for exploring the city. First up is the Toronto Harbourfront. What used to be an industrial, the name has it, harbour district, was converted into a leisure area, offering waterfront parks and trails, art installations, and a theatre. The music garden's design was inspired by the works of Johann Sebastian Bach. And at the waterfront beach, we're meeting Jacob.
Yeah, hi, I'm Jacob. I'm from Toronto. I moved downtown Toronto last year, and I lived in the GTA Greater Toronto area for the past 15 years. It's very friendly, multicultural. The winters are terrible. I don't like the winter, but the summer makes up for it, and there's a lot of fun things to do. There's a lot of bars, as you can see. There's also a lot of nature activities. You can go in the water, riding bikes. It's great for people who like active lifestyle. My favorite parts, I like Liberty Village. I also really like the downtown core, like the financial district where I work. There's a lot of restaurants there, so I like to eat. And Toronto Island, I really like Toronto Island. It feels like it's not part of the main city, so it feels like you're a bit out of the country or in a different town. It's smaller there, a lot more nature, and it feels like it has a small town vibe to it. Honestly, one of the best places in the city.
Those Toronto Islands have made me curious. I will definitely visit them. But first to the CN Tower, as it is close by. The CN Tower was built 1976 and is the world's second highest building. In the skypod you find a rotating restaurant, outdoor observation deck and frightening edgewalk. There's elevators to bring you up, but twice per year you can climb up the 1,776 stairs to raise money for a good cause.
Here, next to the CN Tower, you'll also find the turntable. And this turntable was built in 1929. It was used together with this roundhouse as one of the main facilities for steam locomotives to be serviced as part of the Canadian Railroad Association. Next to offering a railroad museum and some event venues, it is used as a park for many people to just relax.
I have a good impression of the CN Tower now. Going back to the beach, do you still remember Jacob's recommendation?
And Toronto Island, I really like Toronto Island. Honestly, one of the best places in the city.
Also, the purser on my Air France flight who lives in Toronto recommended it, so reasons enough to visit them. Ferries depart from the harbourfront and do not require reservations. The ride is less than 15 minutes.
Long ago, Center Island used to be some sandbanks. They were even connected to Toronto by a peninsula. But this road was destroyed by a storm, and then the islands got separated. There was a family later on that started to live there, and since then people have experienced how nice it can be there. I've arrived by boat on the Center Island dock,
which I would recommend as your starting point, because it directly brings you to highlights of the Toronto Islands. The island is actually a group of 15 islands that are interconnected by pathways and bridges.
So I can totally imagine that this place is crowded on nice warm sunny days. However, today the wind chill is about 1 degree Celsius because there's a very strong wind and it's really cold. But the sun started shining, so I'm not complaining.
Crossing a bridge, you enter Centerville Amusement Park. It features 30 rides and attractions that now look abandoned, as the park is only open in the summer months. Entrance is free, you just pay for rides. The islands were not always focused on recreational activities. In the early days it was used as a residential area, but later reconstructed to create this green oasis. The construction of an amusement park and a pier were part of attracting more visitors. I will leave the Toronto Islands behind, but I definitely agree with Jacob and the Air France purser that it's worth a visit, if not only for the stunning views on Toronto's skyline. Back at the Harbourfront, I'll be heading to Toronto downtown. Downtown you will find Union Station. And on the opposite side, the impressive and majestic Fairmont Royal York Hotel. It was built 1929 by the Canadian Pacific Railways and for a long time the largest hotel, featuring 28 floors and 1,000 rooms. Inside you can get a taste of the royal atmosphere this hotel brings, also being visited by Queen Elizabeth and King Philip. On the other side of the street, Union Station once used to be a major hub. Now, besides local trains and the route to Montreal, you find the legendary Canadian connecting Toronto and Vancouver over a distance of 5,000 kilometers. Leaving the station, you see golden reflections everywhere. That's because of the Royal Bank Plaza, of which the windows contain over 7,000 kilos of gold. Toronto is known for its theatre scene. One of the theatres is Royal Alexandra Theatre, which is the oldest theatre in North America. Here we'll meet Mustafa, Sana and Ellen.
My name's Mustafa.
I'm Sana.
Have you been living in Toronto for a long time?
Like 7 years.
I've been here for like 2.5 years now.
And what do you like most about the city?
There's a lot of culture. In the summer there's a lot of street fests. We've got a lot of cafes. We're standing in front of a bunch of theaters and stuff. Like, it's a good place to be. There's a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah, like the same thing. There's just always something to do here. Always a new place to explore. You know, you can't really get bored. I came from a smaller city before and I really wanted to like just live in a big city where there's just always something different happening every day, and like the art too and good coffee shops. That's what keeps me busy, so I like that.
And what do you think about the people, about the culture here?
They're usually pretty friendly.
Love the diversity. Like you can't beat
Yeah.
that, you know, just people from all over and then all the good food.
Would you recommend any places for me to go to?
If you haven't been to High Park, it's a nice park. If you haven't been to Cafe 23, you should check it out. It's a good cafe.
I like Cafe, it's called Rustle Still. It's like a Korean-inspired coffee shop. There's a lot of plants there. It's a very cozy vibe.
Yes, my name is Alan. I have been here for like 2 weeks. Actually, I think that the city is quite good. I mean, the weather is good, the culture is good. I mean, people are nice as well. Honestly, I think here the food is very nice.
Nice to hear from locals how they experience their city. I will put all recommendations in the description of this video.
In Toronto, you can find Yonge and Dundas Square, which is the bustling heart of the city. It resembles my visit to Times Square a little bit. However, it is just a set version of it. Mainly you find the entrance here to the Eden Center, which is the biggest shopping center of the city. And besides that, there's not much to see. And behind me, a bus tour, like those hop-on, hop-off buses. It would be the worst nightmare of me to be on one of those buses. So, just skipping that one.
Just around the corner, we find the next highlight of the city.
I'm standing on Nathan Phillips Square, which is where you will find the new City Hall and the old one here in the back. It's also the place in Toronto where you will find the famous Toronto letters.
They were installed for the 2015 Pan Am Games. The square was named after the former mayor Nathan Phillips. Year-round events are happening, from markets to a magical winter ice rink. Overlooking the square is Old City Hall, an architectural gem from 1899. Once the largest municipal building in North America, its majestic clock tower and carvings tell stories of Toronto's past. Beside it, the new City Hall rises in striking contrast. Designed by Finnish architect Viljo Revel, its bold, futuristic shape was initially controversial. When it opened in 1965, some found it too modern, clashing with the city's traditional skyline. But over time, its unique design became a symbol of Toronto's forward-thinking spirit. The contrasts in Toronto are enjoyable. One moment you're surrounded by modern architecture and towering skyscrapers, and just a few meters away you'll find historic, original buildings. The city is also home to many art installations. And further from downtown, you'll discover a wide variety of beautiful murals. I have biked in the direction of Kensington Market. Now a National Historic Site, it's known for its vibrant mix of global food, art and bohemian spirit, embodying Toronto's multicultural character.
I've just reached the end of Kensington Avenue. That means for me it's the end of Kensington Market. I have to say, it was not my neighborhood. Sure, the houses are decorated in a very nice way. There's a lot of art on the walls. There are many alternative and vintage shops. So would I say it's worth a visit? Sure, if you're around and you like vintage shops. Otherwise, not the main thing to do here in Toronto for me.
Continuing my bike ride through some nice neighborhoods, I'm on my way to Midtown Toronto.
I'm totally out of breath because the cycling uphill was steep. As a Dutch person is not what I'm used to. But here, behind me, this is the Casa Loma house.
Casa Loma is Toronto's only castle, built by businessman Henry Pallet in the 1900s. He made his fortune from a power plant at Niagara Falls, but went bankrupt by 1920 as he could no longer afford all taxes. The castle was then acquired by the city and became a popular tourist attraction. Heading back towards downtown, the Royal Ontario Museum attracts attention. It is Canada's largest museum and has more than 6 million objects. This beautiful area further features the Queen's Park, the Ontario Parliament and the University of Toronto.
And along the explorations of Toronto, I also am visiting the University of Toronto now. Just staying outside, but it's a massive campus.
Last stop in Toronto now are the Allen Gardens, which features a nice botanical garden that is free to visit for everyone.
So I'm just leaving the hotel at this moment and I'll be having a day of travels. My final destination today will be Huntsville, where my hotel will be for the next days.
However, I won't drive up straight north to Huntsville. I will first visit the Mennonite country, southwest of Toronto. It doubles my driving time today, but I've been wanting to see the Old Order Mennonites. Therefore, I'm heading to the village of St. Jacobs, which is in the Mennonite country. Entering the city, you'll pass by a community healthcare center, where next to the car parking lot, a stable was constructed to park your horse. I already like it here. Ontario's Waterloo region is home to one of Canada's largest Mennonite communities. Here, Mennonites range from traditional Old Order, who travel by horse and buggy and live simply, to those embracing modern technology. Old Order Mennonites focus on farming, craftsmanship and faith, keeping close family and community ties. At the St. Jacob's Farmers Market, you'll find their fresh produce, preserves, furniture and kilts. It is one of Canada's largest year-round farmers markets, attracting hundreds of thousands of visitors annually. You'll find an outdoor market, market building, peddlers village and museum of the Mennonites. That is where we start and meet Ron, who will tell us about the Mennonite story.
We're in an old house that was built about 175 years ago by Old Order Mennonites that had come to Ontario and Waterloo region from Pennsylvania in the United States. So the Mennonites started in Zurich and Switzerland and broadened then from Switzerland into southern Germany. But eventually they went up the Rhine River to the Netherlands, and there a Catholic priest by the name of Menno Simons heard the basic ideas of Mennonites and or Anabaptists as they were called at that time, and then started a church there, and eventually he became a leader, and that's why the Anabaptists became then and now Mennonites. And my forebears, my many generations back, were from Friesland. Menno Simons was from Friesland. In my case, my family went from the Netherlands to Prussia because they were being persecuted, from there to Russia, Imperial Russia, and after the Russian Revolution, they came as refugees 100 years ago this year to Canada and here to Ontario. St. Jacob's Market is known for its good food. We're in the heart of a very good agricultural area of a Waterloo region. So enjoy the food, enjoy the people, see the diversity of people here, and get to know something about the Mennonites or Anabaptists.
And when you visit a farmer's market, I would definitely hope that you meet Ron. So it was a pleasure meeting you, Ron.
Likewise, come and visit.
Thank you so much. First arriving here at the farmer's market, I thought this is like a zoo. Just parkings and nothing that had to do with the traditional Mennonites. However, luckily I met Ron inside of the old Mennonite church, who could explain me about the Mennonite story, which I find really interesting.
We're also meeting the next locals.
I'm Abigail. I'm Hannah. I've come to St. Jacob's Market a few times now. I come in winter time, usually around Christmas, for Christmas gifts, and this is the first year I've come for the fall. I love this market. I think it's such a cool place. It's a bustling hub. There's lots of community members here, and it's the best place to find local goods, which I really appreciate.
I'm very impressed with just all the variety and just having local produce. It's quite cool.
Yeah, we actually dropped it off at the car because we had a huge bushel of apples and probably like a 10-pound squash. Yeah. So we're
gonna maybe an apple crumble or something.
oh yeah, we're gonna be cooking this weekend. I'll definitely come, stop and talk to people, and check out the food. Can't miss that.
And there is a lot of food, with many people enjoying the outdoor terraces. Inside the peddlers village you find smaller merchants, and also this nice bakery.
Actually, I've been baking bagels for almost 20 years, off and on. I've been a baker for a long time. Our business has only been here about a year now. We're actually 1 year as of October 5th, so we just passed our 1 year anniversary. We use a lot of local ingredients. The flour was actually grains grown in fields in this region and milled at a mill about 20 minutes from here. So our flour is incredibly fresh. It's from this area. We try to do that with as many ingredients as we can, fresh and local, and it makes a difference.
And that bagel was delicious. In the main market building you'll find 2 floors, with the ground floor hosting many food stalls. I'll leave St. Jacob's Market behind and start driving up north. I will pass by the covered bridge, small towns of Elora and Fergus, and make a last stop to enjoy the forest above Orangeville. Enjoy the scenery.
Set out on the open road, same old place you always used to go when you were younger. speeding through a 50 song like your dad before you didn't even notice. The old man with silver hair sitting in his rocking chair, soon you'll be there. Although it's easy to remember, it's as easy to forget that it leaves you feeling down and filled with some regrets. All this trick of the memory, we'll call them good old days. Although sweet in the moment, it's poison for you. Same old tune as you heard before, you even knew the language. With every line it brought you back to where the summer never ended. Although it's easy to remember, it's as easy to forget that it leaves you feeling down and filled with some regrets. All this trick of the memory, we call them good old days. Although sweet in the moment.
With still a few hours of driving left, I'm looking back at a fantastic time in Toronto. I met great people, discovered nice places, and I'm looking forward to my next adventures. In the next episode, I will visit the beautiful Algonquin Park up north during peak times of Indian summer and explore the nice town of Huntsville. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss that video. In the last episode, I will cover the Niagara Falls in the wine region south of Toronto.